in the same perimeter. It's just going to make the residents suffer. I love this area. It's so peaceful. I guess that's going to be a thing of the past. So thank you.
My name is Janet Whitehead, and I also live in the Chapman Park area. And the first thing I want to say is that Chapman Park is a beautiful park, and the citizens of Fullerton are totally unable to use it during the week. The parking is completely taken up by the college students. If you were wanting to use that park as a mother with children and go to the playground, there is no place to park for you to utilize that park as it is. I have students in front of my house, that's fine, I'm at work. But the park should be able to be used by the citizens in Fullerton, and it's unable to do it. I have a concern, as the city of Placentia does, that there's nothing that was changing the problem with Placentia. There was no increase in lanes, nothing that has anything that was going to help Chapman and Placentia. At the present time, if you were to go to Home Depot or Sam's Club on a Saturday or a Sunday, and you want to get back west on Chapman, it's impossible to do. I have to take Placentia up to Nutwood, that you want to close, across Nutwood to Commonwealth to get to my home, because you cannot turn left from Placentia onto Chapman because the signals aren't cycled to be able to get through that intersection on the weekend. So how is it that you can shut down Nutwood when that's one of the only thoroughfares to be able to maneuver around the city? Much less that's my access from Commonwealth to Nutwood to Placentia to get to Yorba Linda Boulevard. So it makes for 2.8 acres that only benefits, no one has told me who it benefits yet, but it does not benefit we, though, that live in the city of Fullerton. Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jeff Koskela. I moved into my home off of Nutwood Avenue about 40 years ago. Obviously, I was about 8 years old at that point. I want to thank all of you for your service to our city and sitting here listening to all this. It's not fun, sometimes it's contentious, but that's the nature of it all. We depend upon you to provide guidance for the changes and development in our community and to keep Fullerton a great place to live in. As you carefully consider these things, we want you to evaluate this plan and the compromise to the integrity of our neighborhoods that it may very well bring. Assuming that the city closes Nutwood Avenue, it adds more traffic to our neighborhoods, creates an even longer wait to enter and exit the 57 freeway at Chapman Avenue, which is already gridlocked on a constant basis. Just imagine emergency vehicles trying to get through there. I don't care how many sound walls, how many easements you create, it's gridlocked, and it's only going to get worse. It creates more dangers walking and cycling in the pattern between Troy High School, Acacia, and all the other schools in the area, and to the university. It permits major development of high-density housing and commercial units, bringing in thousands of people and cars, taxes our water and sewer infrastructure. It jeopardizes the quality of life in the neighborhoods nearby, with the potential to lower the homeowners' property values. It creates a questionable net benefit for the university students as well, and that's been stated by more than one student who's looked into this. The research data given to us to support this development is specious, and the plan is ill-considered. I see no good reason for the approval of the College Town project by this commission. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Russ Corey, 1667 East Lincoln Avenue in Orange. My company owns University Plaza at Nutwood and Langsdorff. We also own College Square Shopping Center at Chapman and State College. As you can imagine, shutting down Nutwood Ave is a ridiculous notion. It will eliminate any source of traffic heading to my center to service the restaurants we have there. We're about to break ground next week on 4 more restaurants on that site to replace the building that burned down. Can you imagine if we had a fire there and a fire truck had to go under the 57 freeway, hit a roundabout, and try to get to put a fire out? How ridiculous that sounds. Not only that, if you were going to come to my office building or the restaurants, you'd go underneath the freeway or get off the freeway, hit the roundabout, racing to the opposite side of Nutwood to make a sharp turn into the access off of Nutwood. To me, that sounds a lot more dangerous than hitting a light and then making a U-turn. Shared parking is not going to work. I don't care what you say. I don't care what Arizona State University does. We pay thousands of dollars every year for security guards at both centers to tow cars off of our shopping center because the students park there. They even have learned that if they park their car, go into a restaurant, the security guard won't notice that they went in there and then sneak across and go to Cal State Fullerton. So that's not gonna work. No management plan is gonna work, and even if it did, and I charged for students to park there, who's gonna come and get them out in the morning? Nobody's gonna come out and move the students in the morning so that my tenants can receive their customers. It was stated that you were putting in, you were closing off Nutwood for safe passage for students across Nutwood Avenue. Why not, and my suggestion when I met with the city and the college, build a bridge like another gentleman mentioned, and that would work if you funneled them to the bridge.
Thank you so
What
much.
happens
Thank
to
you.
the city when the storm drain and water line breaks underneath? You're gonna tear up the whole park to fix it?
Thank you very much.
You need to rethink it.
My name is Greg Witz. I live to the west of the project plan. The density proposed is way too high. My childhood home is in West LA. I've seen what densities of 8 to 10 story high apartment dwellings give. I want a community, not a traffic bound horn honking mess. The parking per unit proposed for the 3.75 students per unit is way too low. Not having enough parking there, what are they going to do? Buy parking permits in Cal State Fullerton and park on their parking structures. They're already overloaded. Where's Cal State Fullerton going to get another 6,000 to 10,000 parking spaces? Do not approve the zoning changes. Closure of network is not supported by the facts. The EIR states that the impact on our community is severe and can't be mitigated. But the EIR also states that if you leave Nutwood open, the impact to the project plan is minimal. You have a tough choice to make. Are you going to choose the severe impact on the community or the minor impact on CSUF? I hope you support the community. The planning of College Town is based on outdated numbers. The EIR documents that Cal State attendance records are already at their maximum that has been used in the project plan. I wish Cal State would be a good neighbor and provide accurate information from which you to plan with. Underreporting the students is going to affect the impact by 30 to 40%, which is in your studies. So it's not, the plan is not sufficient. Also excluded from the traffic study are all the intersections that go into the parking structures. Now, parking for Cal State is a major portion of this plan, of this area, and yet you didn't analyze Arts Drive, Gym Drive, or any of the drives going into those parking structures and how they are affected. I'm asking you, do not certify the EIR. Thank you.
Speaker 28, Connie Thompson. Speaker 29, Dan Sanchez.
Good evening. My name is Dan Sanchez. I've lived in Fullerton for over 30 years. My property backs up to State College, And these are some of the reasons why I think this is a no vote for College Town. First of all, I believe we have a water shortage. The governor said so anyway, okay? Please tell us, where are you gonna get water for 3,400 new residents and businesses? Right now, they're asking us to conserve water by 50%. So where are we gonna get the water? Traffic congestion. I live in Fullerton, I'm right there by Nutwood. Every day I see the traffic. Does anybody here live in the east side? One person, two people. Okay, you know what we're talking about, good. Too much traffic there already. Parking. Where are we gonna get the parking? Nobody tells us really, okay? Who benefits the most from college? Okay. The students don't. They've already told us in their newsletter, they don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay?
Amen.
We know that already. The neighbors that are here, we know it's a bad idea. Changes, okay, we like positive changes. We don't like negative ones, okay? For us homeowners here, we get too much traffic, pollution, high-rise buildings, high taxes, more pressure on the city officials to conserve water, and who knows how much electricity and our emergency vehicles, gas, and on and on and on. There's a lot of problems there. Okay. I know I've talked a lot and have mentioned a lot of negative things here today. Don't misunderstand me or our neighbors. We think we have a great college here. The university is a great institution. We love our school and our town, but when you want to make big changes that affect the quality of our life, we're just like a family. We speak up. So please listen to the public.
Thank you.
We urge you to vote no on College Town.
Thank you.
My name is Steve Mullins. I'm Director of Operations at Hope International University. Our Vice President of Business and Finance, Frank Scotty, wanted to make a statement, but he had to leave on an emergency, so I'm going to read what he had to say. Hope International University became a partner in this project because we believe in the value of long-term planning with the assistance of professionals that know the intricate details of successful projects similar to College Town and other locations throughout the U.S. College Town is modeled after 4 successful projects: the South Gateway Campus Project at Ohio State University, the Mill Avenue District at Arizona State University, Technology Square at Georgia Tech University, and Storrs Center at the University of Connecticut. Through careful planning and skilled collaboration, major education centers and the cities and communities that surround them found innovative ways to effectively address requirements for increased housing, parking, retail requirements, and profitable revenue to pay for the projects over time and well into the future. The above outlined universities and surrounding communities recognize the value of long-term planning rather than ignoring the realities of growth in population, education, and the effect of inadequate or aging housing and facilities. They also recognize the value of higher education in our society and proactively look for solutions that could profitably address the above challenges for all concerned. Hope International supports the general plan revision before the Planning Commission and respectfully requests that the Commission members evaluate it on its short and long-term merits to the city and surrounding communities. On behalf of Hope International University, we thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Where do you live?
Please keep your comments to yourself. Show some respect, please. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to answer some questions here tonight. Who benefits from this? Not the residents. The beneficiaries of this project are the developers and the city staff, because there's going to be about $40 million going into the city's coffers. That about $11,700 a door goes into the Parks and Rec budget. And I don't see anywhere written anywhere where that $40 million is going to go. I don't see that it's going to go buy a bunch of acres up in Coyote Hills. I don't see we're going to buy a ball field for all the kids that are stuck in their houses playing video games. I don't see any of that written anywhere. There's a bunch of people here that are very logical. They've made very good points tonight, including where's the water supposed to come from? Well, I'll answer that one, folks. There is no drought. The water's all under the ground. The state's got plenty of water. They just divert it. And if you want to build more of these high-rise, tilt-up monstrosities, the state will increase your water allocation. So stop killing your grass and going along with this fraud. Other bottom line here is that there are people on this commission that voted for the downtown core and corridor project that is 10 times worse than this. And I think whoever put these people in their positions need to be removed from office at the city council level. That's why I'm running. My name is Joe Imbriano. I'm a candidate for Fullerton City Council, and I plan on stopping this monstrosity in the making, this nightmare on Chapman. And I want to tell you folks, you're going to have blood on your hands because people are going to get killed. People are going to get killed on their bikes. People are going to die because they didn't get to the hospital in time, because response time is going to be ridiculously low. These people who you represent, they're mad, and we're going to throw you out. If you pass this tonight, I guarantee I'll do everything in my power to make sure that you are exposed for what you've done to this city and what you've done with the with the downtown core and corridor project. And we're going to hope that you open your eyes to the fact that Brea hasn't been involved in this, and that Caltrans, I think, only went from Yorba Linda Boulevard to Commonwealth. I mean, what about Brea? Where's the city of Brea? They got any problems with this? Because everybody's going to be getting off Imperial because they missed the exit. The parking, it's a nightmare. I could go on. Go to my website, thefullertoninformer.com. I'll have a good write-up on this tomorrow. Thank you.
My name is Diane Hickey, and I'm a Fullerton resident. I live on Hollydale. The traffic in this area is very bad in general, but near impossible in the mornings and afternoons when commuters and students attending Rosary High School, St. Juliana School, Acacia School, Troy High School, and Cal State Fullerton all converge. It is already a mess. The shopping areas are typically jam-packed, and most of the time I forgo doing any business in the nearby restaurants, grocery, or drugstores. In talking with neighbors, they are doing the same thing, and that is planning trips around the time it is least busy. The key word here is avoid, as in avoid the traffic. You end up avoiding doing business here, period. To hear that Fullerton is planning on closing Netwood, a major artery in an area that's already too much traffic, defies reason. It shows complete lack of respect and regard for the homeowners, especially those closest to CSUF. I would not want to buy a house that was in an area so congested, and I cannot help but imagine that home prices will be adversely impacted. Packing so many people in a small area will necessarily degrade the quality of life for all of us. With more people comes more traffic, more crime, more everything. And there's not enough water. It's disgusting to witness what appears to be obstinate determination by CSUF and Hope University to close city streets and dominate the community to this point. The notion that growth is a good thing does not hold when the growth completely overtakes an already congested community, which this will do. I am for growth, but only when it is reasonable growth. This is clearly not. The city of Fullerton just gave a 6% pay raise to safety workers and approved a $2.8 million budget deficit for the next 2 years. Conservative projections are that this development will net the city $40 million. Is the city to sell off the town project by project until Fullerton has become a completely undesirable place to live? This is wrong. You need to vote no on College Town. Thank you.
Speakers 33 through 37.
How many speakers do we have altogether?
I'm 35. I'm just getting ready.
Speaker 33 is Fred Johnson. Speaker 34, Scott Hess.
Name is Scott, Fullerton residence. I live on Mountain View Place, and I don't want it to turn into College View Place. Chair and fellow commissioners, I want to thank you for volunteering your time also for being on the commission. Also, Director Haluza, Project Manager Kovac have been really helpful in answering a lot of my questions in the last couple of days. I have three primary concerns. One is the project review process. The CSP precludes any further public hearing, such as requiring a conditional use permit, if the projects comply with all the development standards. And Director Haluza could correct me if I'm wrong, but if you ask that question afterwards, if they meet all the standards in the plan, is there any other further public hearing process? And the answer is no. And that does not conform to the transparency policies you have in your general plan or Fullerton plan. I'm trying to hurry up. Commissioner Dunlap, you had asked some questions on the parking. I instill in you to continue to drill down in that parking. Look at page 76, table 4, and all the little footnotes. There's no additional requirements for restaurant use more than, what should be similar to citywide restaurant use parking. Also, it allows a 50% reduction and only a half a space designated per unit, and this is all regardless of the number of bedrooms, whether it's a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, or 3-bedroom. I recommend that you take out those standards and just adopt the citywide standards for residential parking. Lastly, the specific plan allows for 85-foot high structures without any building setbacks along Chapman Avenue and State College. On the opposite side of the street, you have single-family homes. This exceeds the current zoning for the property and will permit incompatible land uses with these existing single-family homes, which are valued, if you go to Zillow, they're valued $500,000 and $900,000. They don't need projects like University House on the other side. With the football size lighting they have on the top of University House, go 1 block south of Chapman. Okay, lastly, maybe the hybrid approach. Take out planning areas 1, 5, 6, and 7, and leave Nutwood open.
Thank you.
Thank
Dick Mathewson, I live on North Hale Avenue, 1699, which is 1 block from the college along Fullerton Creek Road. And I'm not trying to harass anybody here, but I'm gonna tell you, somebody, not too distant future, is gonna get killed on Fullerton Creek Road. The students just pull out in a U-turn. There's several curves there. You can't see your way around those curves. And we've had 2 T-bones. But we're gonna have more, and somebody's gonna get killed because they come around there at 45 miles an hour. Speed limit should be 25. But let me just ask you to ask some questions. One is, number of cars on Nutwood that are there daily. We never heard that figure. How many we're gonna divert off Nutwood that are going now to 2 other avenues? I should think that'd be an important question to ask, and I never heard any mention of that. Who's gonna police the area of the new college town? Who's responsible for it? City of Fullerton Police Department, are they gonna do it, or the campus police? I didn't hear anything about who is responsible for that area when all this kumbaya is going on with regard to the, at the campus. I have cars parked in my house 8 months of the year. 2 cars, 3 cars, depending whether it's garbage day or not, whether I have garbage cans out or not. Every day. You think, well, okay, I like college students. I work with a lot of them every week. But I'm gonna tell you, and this, I make apologies to everybody, when you have 2 male people having sex in the back of the seat of a car in front of your house, it gets very upsetting. You call the police, they have to route them out and everything else. But you got garbage on the lawns, you got in the park, Acacia Park, you got stuff that's just thrown out of college students' cars when they get done for the day.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Speaker 37, Greg Lymont.
Greg Beaumont. One guy said he was the old guy at 51 years. I guess I'm the dinosaur because I got 60. Raymond Raccoon, Wilshire Wildcat, Fullerton Indian, Fullerton Hornet. That's kind of where I'm from. I've been here. I'm not gonna beat you up again over, I'm not for Nutwood being closed. But here's what I'd like you guys to do. I got some numbers here that if you might wanna jot some of this down. City of Fullerton is basically 137,000 people. It's 22.4 square miles. The population per square mile is about 6,000 people per square mile. In a square mile, you've got 640 acres. Now we're talking about a project of 79 acres and about, I'll give you 40% of it is office building, not residential. That comes down to basically a tenth and a quarter of a square mile is 79 acres. Using those numbers at the 6,000 people per acre gives us about 750 people in that residential area. Now I know that's low. Now, let's jump across to some other things. You guys are the planning commission. All this has been about traffic. Well, let's look at something bigger. If you have 10-story buildings and you have another 3,400 apartment units, times 4 people, gets you about 14,000 people. 10% of the city in a very small section. You don't have enough infrastructure. You're the planning commission, the sewers aren't big enough. The water lines aren't big enough. You've gotta look ahead. You can build them, but it's gotta go somewhere. So in your discussions and what you talk about, think about the bigger picture, because it's all one thing.
Thank you.
But think about everything. Thank you.
Well, folks, I don't envy you your job. My name's Ron Fay. I live a quarter of a mile due west of Cal State University at Fullerton for the last 20-some-odd years. You had a graph up earlier that showed the PA zones. Is it possible to put that back up? And I'll go to PA6. I mean, before I go there, the Fullerton, the overpass, the pedestrian overpass over Nutwood, awesome idea. I think that solves a lot of problems as far as Nutwood's concerned. Okay, PA6. If I'm not mistaken, that has Smart and Final, US Bank, Dollar Tree, Haircutting Place, Office Depot, KFC, Burger King, mobile gas station. I would like to see those places stay, especially the bank and Smart and Final. The next nearest grocery store outside of Smart and Final is Stater Brothers in Anaheim, Albertsons on Placentia and Yorba Linda, Ralph's on Harbor, and I can't think of any others, but they're nothing close. Right now, Smart and Final is very convenient, I'm sure, to everybody that lives west of the college. And so to see that go is just horrific. And then on the PA7, that's Five Guys, Yoshinoya, Big Lots, B of A. Yeah, B of A, Pizza Place, 99-cent store, on and on. If PA6 and PA7 goes, where's these college kids gonna eat? All the fast food's gone, outside of that Habitat Burger Place or whatever, and I don't know if that's gonna stay, that's in PA4. But at any rate, my concern for me, and it may be selfish, I'm sorry, is PA6 and PA7, because that puts a commute on all of us to go miles out of our way for groceries and the rest. Thank you for your time.
Speakers 39 through 42.
May I have one other comment?
No, sorry.
10-story parking, even if you built that, they'd still come and park because they can't afford to pay it. So come park in front of my house.
My name is David Curley. I'm a lifelong Fullerton resident. Over the past couple days, I've talked to every business in PA6 and PA7, and every one of them is concerned and upset about the project.